Hello everyone, this is Ross with Market Traders Daily, and this is today's video analysis for March 17, 2020. Today, we're looking at the USDCAD, the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar for today's trade analysis. We're starting all the way out here on the weekly time frame to get a frame of reference of where we are in the grand scheme of things. Look far back to the left, and I'll just get the crosshair here. We're looking all the way back to January of 2016. We created a high back in January 2016 that went all the way up here near the 1.46 level, 1.46. So in the grand scheme of things, we have plenty of headspace, plenty of room to run all the way up into the 146 level before we reach the highest high that this has been in multiple years. So we have plenty of room to go. Doesn't seem like there's anything to stop this right now. It's continuing to skyrocket. The dollar has been moving higher. We're going to actually study the dollar pretty well during their live trade room today because it has pretty much reversed the entire sell-off it had a couple of weeks ago and now challenging the highs that we had back in February. So dollar is recovering quite nicely. That's helped drive this higher. That falling oil has helped drive this higher as well. But nothing seems to be stopping this train as it continues to rise. And like I said, plenty of room to go before we reach the high from all the way back in back up here at 1.46. So plenty of room to go. Now that we've seen that, let's go ahead and take it down to the daily time frame. Again, here it is continuing to rise. Current market price 1.41. So again, that's like about 500 pips, 400 or 500 pips before we can reach the highest high. So plenty of room to go. So what do we do? How do we do that? Well, I don't think we buy at the highest high. That never makes any sense. Don't buy at the high point. So currently 1.4130, don't buy right now. What we need is a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a pullback. We're looking for times like this when it just kind of sits on top of a resistance that becomes support, just like right there at the black circle. Could have been today's low. Today's low sat right down there on top of that green zone, 1.3965, and now has risen. But now that we're above the blue zone, it's going to be this blue zone that looks to be a very interesting point for us, 1.4085, 1.4050. Buying on dips into that will give us lower risk because our stop loss is pretty easy to figure out. At this point, if we buy above the blue zone, we don't want it to get back underneath the blue zone. So buying on dips towards the blue zone becomes the theme for the day today, looking for, of course, the dollar to continue to rise. Again, we don't want it to get back underneath 40.50. That becomes the risk because at that point, likely looking for it back to the green zone or lower. Targets right now, 1.4170, 1.42 is the yellow zone first. That's pretty easy to see. It's not too far away. And then beyond there, we're looking all the way back up into the 1.43. So plenty of room to go before we reach into our next resistance. Buying on dips into support becomes the theme here for the dollar CAD 4-hour time frame. It did have a little bit of an opportunity over the past couple of days. You saw it push back down here to the orange zone. Here, we sat down on top of the green zone. Again, it's all those dips is what we're looking for. Now, we'll look for it to sit back down here on top of the blue zone before we look for the next buy. Does that mean you should short it? No, there doesn't seem like a good reason to do that at all. But what that means is being patient, allowing the trade to come to you for low risk and high reward, which means buying on dips to support for the dollar CAD today.
From Forex Traders Daily, this has been your daily analysis with Ross Mullins. If you would like to get Ross's analysis on all the currency pairs he's watching and all the trades he takes today, join him in his live trade room by clicking on the link below. Please leave any comments you have about today's video in the comments section below.